are two things about the scanners. They are great to give information, but they also can mislead you completely. We had an instance, because they don't know that we're listening. Well, now they do. And this one incident served for us to talk to the cops and have a better relationship with them. We started hearing about, and this very, very like crazy. You hear the sirens and people yelling, and you're like, what's going on? We heard that they were looking for a van that apparently they had kidnapped a child. The story went that a car was broken down on the side of the road. This woman had a child, and she needed gas. That's what it was. So another car stopped, gave her a ride to the gas station. While she came out of the car to fill up her whatever with gasoline, the other driver just took off. The kid was in the car, so was her purse. So the communications that we heard was, we have a kidnapper. The child is in the car, the mother is hysterical. They gave all these descriptions about the car, about the driver, and we were listening to all this, and we're like, oh my God. So we went ahead and put it on our website, breaking news. Burlington Police is looking for, a gold color van, the driver is described as blah, blah, blah. Because we got all of this was happening on this camera. So of course, during this time we called the police, and we called the public information officers, and we left them a message, and listen, we're hearing this, can you please call us back and give us more information? Another tip, if you hear a lot of communication in the scanner, do not call SECO, do not call communications, because they're going to be all frantic, and then they're going to talk to you, and you're going to completely turn them off. Do not call them during that time. Just give them some time and call your PL. If it's in the week, just call the public information officer. Do not call them, because we've done that. It's not a good idea. So after all this happened, we were updating and changing things on the website, because the first thing is they're looking for a car that supposedly kidnapped a child. And then we have the description of the woman that was driving the car, and the direction of travel, and we heard, oh yeah, we see this car parked in this parking lot, and we were like, okay. We were listening to all this. And eventually, then the communication stopped, and we were like, what happened? So the PL calls us back, all mad. What are you guys doing? We're like, well, we saw it on the web, we are listening to this, and we called you. He's like, oh, it was all a mistake, it was all miscommunication. The woman had not left, she forgot the kids in the car. So it was all for nothing. But we have been reporting on it. So we sat down with the police, and they're like, you guys cannot report everything you hear on the scanner. So we're like, okay, granted, but you also have to call us back, because when we call you with something like that, we're thinking, we're trying to help you. That's what we were thinking. We're putting it out so people see this car, they can call the police. So one of the things with the scanner, and we have found that out now, is that things can sound completely crazy, and they tend to be nothing in the end. But because we're trying to update everything on the website, and that's one of the downfalls of the website, because you want to have it right there. And before, we have all day to figure things out before we put it in the paper. But now, because we're kind of, we are rushing ourselves to be the first ones to put it out. That's one of the lessons we learned. So now when we listen to things, we're like, okay, let's keep listening a little bit longer. Let's see if we can get somebody to confirm. And that's what we do now. We wait. Editors sometimes don't like that, but we're like, we already did that, we panicked people. So the story that ran in the paper was, oops, because we decided to do a story, because sometimes when we do stuff like that are resolved before the paper comes out, we don't put it in the paper, but because we had created a mess ourselves, we explained it. We said, what started to, as a kidnapping ended up being a misunderstanding. And we quoted the police saying that sometimes things like this happen. People shouldn't take these things, too seriously. So every time now when I call Captain Seal to ask him, I said, I heard the scanner. He's like, oh boy, here you go. I said, well, I'm calling you before I put anything up. So even then, I was like, you don't have to believe everything you hear in the scanner. But that's what we go by. So a scanner is the first thing we use.